So I keep getting this question because I've posted a few videos now of me swinging a sword. And the question is, why do we use swords in traditional Chinese martial arts? Well, number one, it's traditional, right? It's an old style and it came from warfare and soldiers and warriors. And back in the day, people used swords in wars. But these days, we use it for a variety of reasons. Number one, it's actually very fun. It's exciting. It's challenging in a lot of different ways. And it helps to cultivate the body and condition the body several ways. Number one, it does act as a weight, a resistance against the body. We're not pumping iron and lifting heavy weights in martial arts, at least in traditional Chinese martial arts like Bagua and Tai Chi. But so the weapons, the equipment acts as that resistance and that weight. So it does help to develop the body. And when you're swinging a sword around for a while, your arm, shoulder starts to get tired. So it forces us to start to use other parts of the body, which is one of the things we're trying to do in these arts, is create this unity of movement and gain the support of the entire body for every little movement that we make. Number two, it does translate over to empty hands, meaning boxing or Chinese boxing, which is what Bagua and Tai Chi is. And so the same movements and body mechanics and movement patterns that we use in swinging a weapon like a sword or a staff translate over directly to getting a hold of someone's limb, right? Their arm or their hand or even their leg or their head in order to protect yourself and defend yourself. And so these are a couple of the things. Also, it does force you to be even more present in the training because we're taught to imagine that the sword is real, right? And so, and we do use real swords, but for training most of the time, especially in New York, you can't do that. So it's a wooden sword or plastic sword that we're using in a public park. But we want to imagine that it is a real sword, which would slice your limb or your flesh if you were careless with it, even carrying it around. And so it makes you much more present in the moment as you are training. So those are the main reasons why we use them. And in the beginning, I hated the sword, the staff, the Bagua Dao, because I was so horrible at it and it felt so awkward and I never had any interest in it. Now I love it because it's fun. I'm becoming just more proficient in the weapon, and it's becoming a good old time. So I hope that explains it. And if you are interested in swinging a sword around, I highly recommend a traditional internal art like Tai Chi or Bagua. I teach professionally, classes, privately, so feel free to hit me up if you want. But one way or another, I definitely recommend it because it's a good time.